Alright, welcome everyone back to BRL Season 6, Tier 2. It is the finale today, Abu Dhabi, to finish off the season. What a great season it has been. Now, before we get into the excitement of the race, we need to take a look at our driver standings and see how we're going to be looking for possible winners on both the drivers and the constructors this time for this season. So, let's start with our drivers. So, currently in first, we're looking at Robsu on a nice 2:02, essentially securing him the victory for this season. Especially since, unfortunately, Resurrection is not here. He's had to have reserve step in for AlphaTauri. Unfortunately, he's not available for this race, so Robsu is not going to be seeing much competition. Baz is not too far behind in a third at 1:49, but even with his best performance today, and even if Robson doesn't have a great race, there's essentially no chance for him to catch up and close that gap. Melv is sitting at a nice 4th on 125 for Alpine, with Jimmy sitting in 5th on 125 as well. Sheepers is in 6th on 90, with BGR in 7th on 80. Aronator's in 8th on 78. Nico in 9th on 74. With Luke in 10th on 72. Aero in 11th on 52. Chia in 12th on 47. Huo in 13th on 38. PPT in 14th on 37. Sof in 15th on 27. San in 16th on 26. CDR in 17th on 22. FML on 18th at 20. 19th is JR at 26 on 20 as well. And Huntilla in the 20th position with 20 points. Could see a nice amount of movement on the lower ends of the standings, but for now the top end appears to be mostly secure for the title for Robsu. So let's take a look at the drivers as of now. Well, not the drivers, the teams, sorry. For the teams, we are looking at AlphaTauri has managed to take the first position with a nice 2:48. Let's see if they can keep that for the end of this season, with Mercedes only 10 points behind on a 2:38. So if both Robsu and Trucker have a good race this season, or this race here, they could definitely have a chance of pushing Mercedes up to that top spot. Ferrari sitting in 3rd on 195 as well. If both of their drivers perform good today, we could see an opportunity for them to move up. But I believe they only have the one driver being Baz today, so there isn't too much of a chance for them. Not too far behind them is Williams. If both Hewitt and Jimmy can have a good race today, then we could definitely see them moving up onto the podium. And then we move to Alpine in 5th on 151. With Aston in 6th on 138. Haas are in a 7th on a nice 130, with Red Bull on 8th on 106, Alfa Romeo in 9th on 100, and McLaren on 10th with 76. Like I said, there's definitely some opportunities for movements both on the podium and below it, with Mercedes having that potential of being able to take the top of the podium from AlphaTauri, depending on their performance today. With Resurrection out today, having to have a reserve sub in for him, we're going to have to see how well AlphaTauri can hold their ground there. With Mercedes, with the two drivers, Robsu especially, with a absolutely promising looking season, dominating the driver standings, there is a good chance that Mercedes could look good for that title. Baz, though, putting in the performance of Ferrari, he's got to put in that performance today to hopefully keep that spot for them on the podium. Because, like I said, if both the Williams have a good race today, then we could definitely see Williams up on the podium. Just dependent on how their performance is this race. And then with Alpine in 5th on 151, if both of their drivers have the performance, maybe we'll see some movement, but them only having one driver today, as both Alpine and I believe his Ferrari are missing a driver today, as we did not have their full-time seats available and there was no reserve to step in for them. But there's definitely going to be some movement towards the lower end of the spectrum as well, especially within the 8-point gap between Aston and Haas. There's definitely some opportunity for movement there, and between Alfa Romeo and Red Bull if the Romeos can put in the performance today. McLaren, if they put in that performance, there's a chance they can get past Alfa Romeo if Alfa Romeo doesn't have a fantastic race, but that is yet to be seen. So, with quali started, let's get over to the gameplay and see how the drivers are holding up today for Abu Dhabi. With qualifying underway. Get everything set up. Alright. So a lot of the drivers are already out on pitch, no time set just yet, as most of them are still on their out laps. But we've got a few on their hot laps as well, so we're going to see how they perform with their times. If any volume or anything is too loud, too quiet or anything, just let me know in chat and I'll sort it out as quickly as I can. Alright, we've got our first lap of the day set by Baz on a 126.09. And then Alpine's driver today by Dave setting a 123.9. Like I said, there's definitely going to be a lot of potential for movement, especially at the bottom end of the driver standings. Basically all over the constructors as well. A 23.6 from... I cannot say his name, I do not want to mess it up, so I apologise for that. Baz is definitely a driver that does have the potential. Especially looking forward to next season as well, season 7, there's definitely some potential. Got a new faster time from San with Aston on a 23.5. Had purple in all sectors by the looks of it, which is great to see. Melv as well, 2 Alpines. It wasn't Alpine with 1 driver, I was wrong, it was Red Bull with 1 driver. Because Nico is currently out, but he may try and get into qualifying dependent on, you know, traffic and everything. But Melv, just like a nice 23.2 for Alpine. Quite nice to see some good Alpine performance today, especially. At least see them performing one in the virtual world, because they're not doing too well in the 2024 F1 season right now. Robso as well, the driver to look out for, the current person sitting on top of the driver standings. He has a definite potential of keeping that spot. Especially with the Resurrection out, there's no chance for anyone to take that spot. Basically, he's already secured that championship. He's just got to perform well to push his team up to the top. So we'll see how well he manages to do that today. Like I was saying, Baz is definitely a driver to look out for. He is performing well. He's keeping Ferrari up on that podium. Whether Ferrari can stay on the podium will be yet to be seen. All depends on their performance today and if they can push out that performance that they need. The Astons aren't looking too bad either with San and Sheepers. Both of them are great drivers, it just depends on, of course, their performance today, especially on this track. Because there is definitely some potential for movement for Aston if they can push themselves up on the grid, or even just defend themselves from the bottom of the standings. It's definitely going to be an interesting one, to say the least, today. Got Williams as well. Jimmy is one of the drivers to keep an eye on for Williams. His performance has had its up and downs this season, but he has been performing very well. he's keeping Williams in that 4th right now. If he puts in that performance today, and we have a good race, there's definitely potential for him to push Williams up onto the podium. He just needs his teammate Hugo to perform well as well. If they both put in that performance today, then there is definitely potential for Williams to make it up onto the podium. May even have a chance of slightly pushing himself up the driver standings or holding his current position as well, dependent on how well he does today. So yet another driver to look out for. So 5 drivers yet to set a time, but we'll definitely see how they do. With all of them now, well, everyone except Stoff have those drivers on track right now. 3 of them out laps, with Trucker on a, who's currently on a hot lap with a nice looking sector 2. Oh! Jesus! Contact with Murphy, sending him into the wall. Oh my goodness! That is not the way to start the finale. Oh my goodness. He went... Oh wow. He is not going to be best pleased about that one. A contact with Murphy, the Red Bull, and it just sent him straight into the wall. But the Red Bull didn't take too much damage from that either, so he's lucky to manage to get out of that one. Just grab my Discord. Now for our mayors as well, if they can have a chance to push themselves up standings as well, could definitely be a promising race for them, depending on BGR's and Hunter's performance today. New fastest lap by Hugo for Williams on a 23.1. That was a late call to try and come into the pits. Harinator for Haas. He's definitely putting some good performance It's just whether he can put in the performance today to keep Haas where they are on the podium. Not on the podium, sorry, on the standings. It's not a great race for Trucker, because that means he is not going to get a good start at all for the race. I need to pull the string off my phone, go back and take a look at that crash. Trucker had a great lap as well before that accident. He was purple on both 1 and 2. And he comes round into that turn, has contact with Murphy and just absolutely just spins out and wrecks straight into the right side wall. Looks like Murphy was going on the going out wide, just didn't catch him. That is so unfortunate. Because he just comes around that corner. Bear with me real quick. See if I can get this up for you all.
He's going to take it.
That's not tier 2, that's tier 1. So, it's not what I meant to do. I can just edit this. So I just want to show you all this. Take a look. Truck has come around that turn. You can see when he comes round, you can see Murphy in front of him. And they come around here and they just have contact. And he goes straight into the wall. That's not a great qualifying for him at all. We've got 3 minutes remaining of quali now. Driver's finishing up. Murphy did receive a 5-place pit position or grid penalty for that. 5-position grid penalty. So we'll have to see what the stewards think of that after the race. BG are currently setting the fastest time of a 22.8. Robson not too far behind on a 23.1. Hewitt on a 23.14. San on a 23.18. Melv on a 23.2. Luke on a 23.2. Sheepers on a 23.4. With Murphy on a 23.47. GI on a 23.5. By Dave on a 23.59. Harinator on a 23.6. Baz on a 23.7. Chia on a 23.8. Jimmy on a 24. PPT on a 24.1. Nico on a 24.4. Untilla on a 24.4. 9. With qualifying over, let's take a look at the positions for the race. We're seeing BGR starting pole with a Robsu in second. You are in third with San in fourth. Melvin fifth with Luke in sixth. Sheepers in seventh with Murphy in eighth. GI in ninth with Bidade in 10th. Harinator in 11th with Baz in 12th. Chia in 13th with Jimmy in 14th. PPT in 15th with Nico in 16th. Untilla in 17th, Trucker in 18th, with Soft starting in 19th, the back of the grid. There's the incidents for the for this qualifying. But with that said, let's move into the race for today. Let's see how today's race, the finale, is going to go. going to be an interesting one for sure, as I explained. Here we are. And it's lights out, and away we go with the finale of season 6. Already with a lot of movement on the back of the grid. Melv looking to fight to take places up the grid. Baz not too far behind either. If Luke manages to make it up to 4th, BGR still holding that first place position. Baz slowly moving his way up the grid. Murphy not too far behind as well, managing to push his way up. Got Jimmy as well, making moves towards the back of the grid, as well as Chia and PPT. GI is now in 9th as well, moving up the grid. San making moves as well towards the front. He's just being out by Mel. Soft back of the grid, making moves back there. Sheepers as well, making some moves. Hewitt in 2nd. He's got, as he goes in, Robsu side by side. Robsu's looking to go around the inside. Just doesn't get it. Baz still making moves, trying to get past Mel, but Mel was not letting up back there at all. Sheep is in 7th as well, making moves on the Astons, battling it out. GI looking to try and move up towards them as well, but Sheep has taken advantage and getting ahead of his teammate. Baz making moves up to 6th, got some movement towards the back of the grid as well with Chia and Huntilla both making moves. Jimmy still trying to make moves, moving up the grid. Chia as well making moves. We've got a virtual safety car on track already. Oh dear. Oh, we've got Nico off the track towards the back of the grid. And Nico has been disqualified session. A few drivers already going into the pits. Okay, and safety car is now out on track. Lap 2, and we've already got a safety car on track. Wow, that is one of the fastest safety cars that I have seen this season. Some drivers will definitely be using it to their advantage, especially someone like Robsu looking to use it to get ahead of the grid. He will try to make some moves, especially when that safety car restart comes in. The current reigning champion driver, currently sitting nice on top of the standings, is definitely going to be trying to use that safety car to his advantage to get past Hewitt and BGR. We'll have to wait and see. As the front of the grid is now catching up to the safety car. Safety car now on the move, with the drivers bunching up behind it. What a quick safety car for the finale race here in Abu Dhabi. Got drivers deciding to pit as well. Trucker and PPT coming out of the pits as well. Murphy towards the back is going to need to catch up to that safety car. Currently for tyres, we are looking at most drivers so to stick with the medium compound, with a few, but looks to be 3 soft compounds out and 3 hard compounds out on track. No penalties issued as of now. Not a great start for our finale today. Here's we've got the safety car, possibly another lap. Yeah, we'll have the safety car for one more lap. Not a great start, but I know some drivers will be looking to use it to their advantage. All the drivers now back up bunched together. We'll definitely be looking at the safety car in this lap. Safety car is in this lap. The drivers now begin to make that gap. Now coming around through sector 3. Got the drivers all bunched up together. A couple of them trying to get their tyres warmed back up. Safety car heads back into the pits. And that's the green flag. Let's get back to racing. Got a gap forming between the back and the front of the grid. One of the Haas is coming in for a new wing, it appears. Here we're looking to make that move on BGR. He's going to get around. He's going to be able to take it through the inside of the turn. That's a position gain for Huo. He's going to be able to keep it. The Williams driver battling it out with BGR. And he managed to secure that position for now. BGR's not going to be happy about that, looking for the opportunity. He's also got Robsu behind him, looking to push up and get past. Robsu's got Luke behind him, with Baz also not too far behind. BGR looking to get side by side as they come round into sector 3 once again. The Williams driver defending hard. Got Robsu behind and the Mercedes trying to defend from Luke behind him. He's on hards while Luke is currently on a set of softs, so he's definitely looking to use them to his advantage. Baz back in 5th, looking to try and push it, make some moves. And Melv not too far behind either for Alpine. Got the 2 Astons as well in 7th and 8th. With GI and the McLaren not too far behind. By Dave also behind that McLaren. We've got BGR managed to take back the top of the grid from Hero. Top drivers bunched together, definitely looking for those opportunities and taking them. Is Hero trying to go around the outside? Is he going to be able to keep it? Looks like it's a no. BGR taking the inside line, just keeping and holding on to that position. Defending harshly against the Williams there. Go back towards the middle of the grid. We've got Dave with Jimmy not too far behind. A 1-2 second gap between the drivers. Jimmy's definitely going to be more focused on pushing up to put competition into the Alpine in front of him, especially with the Red Bull. 4 seconds behind him. So Jimmy's not got too much to worry about there. Got Trucker as well, definitely going to be trying to catch up with the Red Bull in front of him. He's got a nice even gap between him and the car in front and the car behind. Luke coming up on Baz. Both drivers currently out on the sets of soft tyres. And we have a safety car out, appears to be for Huntilla, who has gone off track. Oh dear. Lap 7, we have our second safety car of the session. Two safety cars already, and we're on lap 7 here. So, this is definitely looking to be an interesting race here. GI with a 5-second penalty with us for a severe collision. There's no movement towards the back of the grid with the drivers pitting. Drivers definitely have to make some ground, especially coming out of the pits. With the front of the grid now, we're going to group up behind the safety car. This is definitely going to be an interesting race for sure. Slight bit of movement with the Astons, but it appears they've retraced to prevent an illegal overtake. Going to be going into lap 9 with the safety car still remaining out by the looks of it. Slight movement as GI heads into the pits. It's definitely turning out to be an interesting finale race. To see how the drivers continue from the safety car. Hero might be looking to take advantage of the gap closing due to the safety car. I believe it's going to be safety car in this lap. Trucker with a 5-second penalty for a severe collision. With Trucker and GI sitting at the back of the grid, catching up to the rest of the group. Oh, he's hit the worst contact with the wall there for Trucker. Definitely going to be some slight damage to the Mercedes for that. Safety car is in this lap, safety car is in this lap. As the drivers now start getting their tyres warmed up, ready for us to get back to racing. Now come through, back onto the final straight. That's the green. We are back to racing now. San already taken advantage, managed to move up a few positions, but Melv just managed to defend. Slight contact between one of the AlphaTauris and the Astons there. Got Baz movement and Harronator moving towards the back of the grid. Got two drivers retired, Sheepers and Trucker just then. Jimmy taking advantage as well, moving up to 11th. Going to try and hold that position. Taking advantage of the gap closure on the safety car. It's going neck and neck with the Red Bull. Definitely a good... Jimmy is turning out to have a good race today. Robsu now taking advantage. Oh, he's not just been able to hold that position though from the Williams. The Williams defending very well there. Robsu has that inside line, but he's not able to hold that position. EGR still sitting comfortably in that first position. Is definitely turning her out to be a good... Oh, was that slight contact? Oh, we've got the Red Bull retiring from the session as well. And there goes Red Bull's hopes for this season. Yo, it's definitely making things look up for Williams this season. Or this race, I mean, especially lap 11, our third safety car of the race. We have 5 drivers out. Not not a good race for them at all. This is a very interesting race for our finale today. A lot of the drivers now choose to pit. Melv taking advantage, as well as Luke and Baz moving their way up to the podium positions. Would be a smart choice for the drivers who pitted now, as they have now had their mid-race, essentially mid-race pit sorted, and they'll be hoping that they can keep their tyres on a good stint for the rest of the race. But that'll definitely come down to what happens after the safety car. Take a look currently. Every driver except Melv has had a stop. So that's going to make it more difficult on Melv to hold that position. He's going to have to get a good gap before he'll have any chance of being able to hold that position through a pit stop. He's running the hard compounds though, so that will be one of the factors that influenced his choice to not pit. Him moving up 4 spaces up the entire race. Baz though moving up 8 spaces now. It's a good amount of rivalry and competition that we are seeing, especially for the finale. 3 safety cars in a single race though, wow. That is outstanding. Looking like they're going to be dealing with the safety car for another lap at least. Oh dear, oh dear. Baz now making the decision to pit. Melv's still holding the top of the grid, but he's still got, well, at least 1 pit stop to go. We're on a 13 lap old pair of hard tyres now. It's definitely going to be difficult for him to hold that position if he can't, well, especially if he can't form a gap between him and Luke to get a good pit in. We'll have to see how that turns out for him. Baz definitely have to put in that performance towards the back of the grid as well to make his way back up after that pit on the safety car. BGR as well will be looking to get up as well with that safety car in this lap. BGR might look to take advantage, especially to gain that ground and get back to the top of the grid. Have to see if he can put in the performance for that. Robso as well, still going to be looking to make ground. The current driver on top of the standings. And that's the green, and we are back to racing once again. After the third safety car of the race. There's a lot of potential for movement for the drivers. Jimmy making a few moves towards the back of the grid. Trying to get past VT, but he just doesn't have the momentum to do it. We've got Jimmy and Baz going side by side. Baz managed to take that position. He's going to be able to take the inside line to get past PPT as well. Ooh, looks like slight contact between the Williams and the AlphaTauri there. The Williams managing to push out and come out top. He's going to go wheel to wheel, side by side down the straight. The Williams going to take the inside line to take that position from the AlphaTauri. Now he's going to go down and try and chase the McLaren in front of him. Baz still making moves to make his way back up the grid as well. It is anyone's race today, like, really. That move was with Jimmy now falling back to the back of the grid. Looks like he can try and take the inside line, but he just doesn't commit to it. Got Luke as well taking the lead. Now leading the grid, putting a gap between him and Melv. BGR making moves, managed to make his way up to third. He's now going to try and chase down the Alpine in front of him. The Alpine on hard tyres and him on mediums, it's definitely going to work to his advantage. He just needs to look for that opportunity and take it. He's got the Williams behind him as well, trying to make a move. And the Mercedes with Robson as well, behind, trying to look to get through with DRS now back. It's going to make this anyone's race. Baz as well, still looking to make moves and make his way back up the grid. He's currently side by side with the Haas in front of him, but he just slips in behind. He's going to try and go for the inside line. The inside line working to his advantage to pass the Haas. Now onto the McLaren in front of him. Robson now making moves to the front as well, up to fourth. With the Williams as well, Hero trying to hold that position from the Romeo. But then Robsu and the Mercedes coming through, taking the position of the Romeo, man, to take advantage of him being too focused on the Williams. Joe as well still looking to move up towards Melv. And it looks like he's taken the opportunity, slight contact with the Alpine there. Still managed to go to that position, and Baz taking advantages as well. As Melv heads into the pits for his, what appears to be his mid-race pit after a 17-lap stint on his hard tyres. is definitely going to be some great movement here on the standings, especially towards the lower end. Might be some good movement with the constructors as well, with constructors being a tight one between both Mercedes and AlphaTauri. If Luke can keep this performance up, then he may just secure that top victory for AlphaTauri on the Constructor Championships. Robson is still looking to try and make moves on the Williams in front of him though, and make his way up the grid. He's just not getting the opportunity. With the AlphaTauri now managing to open up that 2-second gap, working to his advantage. You can see the Mercedes trying to battle out with the Williams there. Just see how well he can keep this performance up on defending from the Mercedes. Looks like Ross is going to try and take the inside line, but he just doesn't get the speed and has to slip in behind the Williams. But Jimmy and the Williams towards the back of the grid, looking to catch up to the AlphaTauri in front of him. Currently a 0.8, 0.7 second gap. He's going to definitely see if he can get an advantage there to get past the AlphaTauri. Six, still looking to try and catch up to the Romeo in front. A nice 2.4 second gap between him and McLaren behind him, so he's able to focus on that possible attack on the Romeo to get past him. San in the green Aston there as well, managing to make his way up towards the top of the grid. Rob Su managing to move up to second past the Williams. Looking to try and possibly take advantage of an inside line on Luke there. With 10 to go, it's going to be it could be anyone's race, with Rob Su now trying to take advantage of the outside line. He manages to squeeze past Luke on the straight just before the corner there, allowing him to take the front of the grid. Obviously now taking the lead, looking to open up a nice gap between him and Luke to help him keep that lead. Look at some of the gaps between the cars and the leader here. You definitely see some massive time, especially for Haranator at the back of the grid with a 45-second difference between him and Robsu. We've got Hugo trying to make a move on the AlphaTauri there. He just managed to squeeze through before the turn, but the AlphaTauri doesn't manage to make it back on the inside line, so it's a position gained for the Williams there. Amazing performance there from the Williams. The AlphaTauri not too pleased, going to definitely looking to use DRS to his advantage to try and get past on this next straight. But it's come up to the turn there, neck and neck as they come around the corner. The Williams think he's going to hold that position, but the AlphaTauri's got the inside line for the next corner. They come in close. The Williams just manages to slip in front. He manages to keep that position for himself. Amazing performance, some amazing drivers out here today. To focus on penalties right now. Gia decided to pit Jimmy on the advantage. In terms of penalties right now, we're looking at a 3 second for Sam. With another 3 second for BGR. 3 second for GI in 8th as well, and a 6 second penalty for Jimmy. Currently seeing quite a few hards and mediums with one soft, one set of softs on the track right now, with Shia coming out on a fresh pair of softs for probably the last 9 laps, or the last 8 laps of the race. Amazing race there for the Mercedes. Now managing to take the front of the podium. Top of the podium, if he can hold that position, would have secured himself the Drivers' Championship. And depending on the AlphaTauri's performance behind him, he could possibly have helped Mercedes push themselves up. We'll have to wait and see how the AlphaTauri's perform. So we've got both Baz and Hugo looking to make moves. Baz trying to push his way up to 3rd, all the way to 2nd from 4th as they come up to the corner on the straight. Outstanding performance from the Ferrari there. It's a rocket ship on the move there, because he's now going to go down and chase down Robsu in the Mercedes. Amazing performance for the Ferrari there. The Williams and the AlphaTauri behind, though, still battling it out with the Williams holding the inside line. But the AlphaTauris just might take advantage of it, but it looks like the Williams got the edge and managed to take it. But the AlphaTauri's still holding that inside line. As they come around onto the last straight, he just slips in behind the Williams. Some great defense from Hugo there in the Williams. So some beautiful performance we are seeing from the drivers here. Now with 6 to go, it's looking like Baz could have the time to chase down Robsy. GI managed to make some moves on the Alpine towards the back of the grid as well. Jimmy not too behind in 9th as well. Currently a 2-second gap between him and the Alpine in front. He's definitely going to need to close that down. He's also got to worry about the AlphaTauri behind him, taking advantage of DRS. The AlphaTauri taking the inside line, but Jimmy just managed to come out with the edge there in the Williams. Williams driver putting out some fantastic performance there for the team and himself. Currently sitting at 5th on the driving standings, with his team sitting in 4th. With Baz up to second though for Ferrari, it's not looking too promising for whether Williams might be able to push themselves up on the constructors. But we've still got 5 to go, so there's still those opportunities, it's just got to be taken. Oh wow, we have BGR spin out in the background, straight into the wall. And there goes his front wing. There's going to be a safety car now out on track for lap 24. With some catastrophic damage done to that Romeo, he's going to need to get into the pits as soon as he can. He ripped off his entire front wing. Oh, this is definitely gonna benefit a lot of the drivers, especially like Luke, Baz, Hewer, who are gonna look to take advantage of the shrinking gaps from the safety car. It's the 4th safety car of this race. But now Robsu and Baz taking the pit opportunity, Luke staying out, Hewer pitting as well. Leaving Luke to now take the front of the grid. Most of the drivers choosing to pit possibly fresh pairs of soft tyres to benefit them for the rest of the race. It's definitely an interesting race, especially with our 4th safety car now of the race. Safety car definitely going to benefit from Robsu coming out of the pits now on a fresh set of soft tyres. He's definitely going to be able to use them to his advantage to possibly get past Luke once again. Baz though as well on the fresh softs going to be looking to take advantage, possibly creep past Robsu and both Luke. The Ferrari driver has been putting in some fantastic performance throughout the season. Hewer behind in the Williams, and also on a fresh set of soft tyres now as well. San on fresh pairs of softs. Looks like we are looking at mostly where most drivers now on fresh sets of softs, with Luke on a 17 lap old pair of hard tyres. He's definitely going to struggle for grip, especially with Robson and Baz behind him, both on fresh softs. Definitely still a lot of room for movement on the grid. Chin moving into the pits now. We're now coming on lap 26. Possibly the last lap with the safety car. Is now warming up their tyres preemptively, ready for the safety car restart. It's definitely been an interesting race so far, especially with our fourth safety car. We've got a safety car in this lap. We've got Robsu already looking to gain that advantage, ready for the moment that green flag is waved. Drivers now warming up their tyres ready as well for that safety car restart. Definitely been an interesting one so far. With the safety car now back in, Ross immediately taking advantage in sector 1. Now up to first with Baz second, taking advantage of the fresh pair of softs. Obviously back leading the race. Baz not too far behind now. Hewitt also taking advantage. Gia towards the back, trying to fight it out with the Alpine there. BGR towards the back with his fresh front wing. Is definitely going to be an outstanding race with 2 laps to go. Moving towards the back as well with the Alfa Romeo looking to win that competition from the McLaren and take that spot. Be able to keep that position though. It's a difficult one for sure. Baz down to 9th. What happened with the Ferrari there? Jimmy now up to 8th with PPT in 7th, Bide in 6th, GI in 5th and Senna 4th. Luke still holding 3rd, but he's coming up neck and neck with the Aston Martin there. With Hero now holding 2nd behind Robsu. The McLaren with GI trying to make it past the Alpine, which is a nice little move for him there. Position gained for the McLaren. Jimmy making moves as well up to 7th. Maybe Williams will be able to get that performance in after all. He's neck and neck with that AlphaTauri there. They are side by side there. Appears to be the Williams coming out on top of that, however. So now we've got the Alpine in front of him as well to worry about. So we now come into the final lap of the race. Robsu still leading strong. DRS now back. Turns if Hewitt's going to be able to take advantage of that with the new fast lap of 24.6 as well. He's got one more lap to try and make that move on Robsu with that penalty. It's going to be a difficult one. Luke as well, still making moves on the slight back end. Ooh, we had slight contact there. What appeared to be PVT and the AlphaTauri going into the rear of GI and the McLaren there. Baz still making moves to make his way up the grid, because he still needs to worry about Williams possibly getting past him, past Ferrari and the constructors, so he still needs to try and hold his ground. Jimmy just managing to take advantage and get ahead there, up to 7th for Jimmy. To now come around towards the end of the final lap, Rob's still holding strong in that first place, and that is a nice secured victory for Robsu. Theo finishing in 2nd. An outstanding race for the Mercedes. GI out of the race as well towards the end of that is a horrific end for the McLaren there. Robsu taking first. The Drivers' Championship secured for him today. Let's take a look at our final standings of today's Grand Prix, the finale of Season 6. Right, with the finale coming to an end, we see Robsu taking the win, with Hughes finishing in 2nd, with Sam in 3rd, PBT in 4th, with Luke in 5th, Baz in 6th, Bide in 7th, Mel finishing 8th, with BJR in 9th, Jimmy finishing 10th, with Sof in 11th, Chia in 12th, Harrogate in 13th, GI in 14th, Murphy finishing 15th, Sheepers 16th, Trucker 17th, Montilla in 18th, and in 19th. Outstanding race for the drivers there. Quite a few incidents however on track today. But overall, what a fantastic performance today. Alright. Let's get to possibly getting these post-race interviews sorted. Just bear with me as I get the drive sorted for the interviews. Just bear with us. Oh, wrong microphone. I do this so often. Just bear with us as we get the rest of the drivers in here if they are partaking. That's not T2. Alright, I do not think we are going to be joined by San. So we'll go ahead and just get going. So, fantastic race today, guys. Let's start with Rob Sue. Congratulations. That's basically your Drivers' Championship secured for this season. How are you feeling after today?
Well, fantastic. I mean, despite being an eventful race, it was just perfect. I mean, uh, everything was kind of under control. Yeah, I mean, it was just perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect for me, basically.
That safety car at the end setting you up to get those fresh softs as well.
Oh yeah, that was just that was the icing of the cake.
Allowing you to just get past Luke. Luke was on 17 lap old pair of hards when you overtook him, so that definitely worked to your advantage there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hugh, how you feeling after today's race with that great finish today? Second place, I believe it was.
Oh, well, it was kind of exotic race. Had some pace, but well, some problems with the braking and yeah, rear-ended the bus in the end. That ruined both of races.
A beautiful podium at the end of the day.
Well, let's see how it turns.
Yeah. Well, that being the finale of season 6, especially with Robsu now definitely securing that lead, did you potentially see any opportunities that you could have taken for, oh well, considering with the constructors with AlphaTauri creeping up, if Resurrection was here, was managed to make it for this race, how close would have felt it would have been for the drivers? Robsu.
I mean, I still think Resurrection is way faster than me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He was
I mean, I don't
definitely
know.
one of the main drivers putting in that competition with you.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah, indeed.
At the end of the day, it was fantastic performance from both you and Resurrection throughout the whole season, and the rest of the grid as well. It has been a fantastic season. because you at the end of round 9 you were sitting nice on 202 with resurrection in 153, so you'd basically already secured the position after round 9.
Oh yes. Well, yeah.
But yeah, no.
I mean, yeah. It's still, it's still unfortunate that he couldn't race this race and the last one also.
Yeah, no, there was no movement,
Was it?
so I
Yeah.
assumed he wasn't around last race.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been. Oh, it would have been great. I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say thank you for your time. I'm gonna call it there. But fantastic performance and congratulations again, Robsu, on the Drivers' Championship.
Thank you, and thanks for commentating.
Yeah, no problem. That was a bit of movement for me. I changed from driving to commentating. Hero as well, great performance today. Well done on the podium finish.
Yeah. Thanks.
And yeah, I look forward to seeing you both next season and seeing how season 7 goes out.
Yeah.
Possibly our last season before the release of F124. So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So yeah, thank you again for your time, and I wish you both the best. See you in season 7.
Thank you. See ya.
Take care, guys.
You too.
And well, that concludes season 7 of the not season. That concludes season 6 of BRL's Tier 2. Thank you all for tuning in for the season. We've got a possibly more exciting lineup with a full grid for season 7 coming up. And well, I look forward to seeing you all in season 7. So until then, take care. Have a good day or night, whatever it is time for it is for you right now.